You ever have one of those days that starts out so ordinary, so normal, you just know the universe is cooking up something wild? Yeah, that was me. Sweat-soaked, tired in the best way, standing in my own driveway with my gym bag slung over one shoulder, the sun shining, feeling like I'd earned every drop of peace in that moment. And then a beat-up Ford Taurus came screaming in tires, shrieking, blocking me in like I was about to bolt for the border. Out jumps a woman, late 50s, cheap bottle blonde hair, makeup caked on like war paint stuffed into a fake-looking police uniform, so crooked you'd swear she got fired from Spirit Halloween for scaring the customers. And boy, she's coming at me with a fury that would make a junkyard dog back off. Before I even get a word out, she's yelling, "Your kind are all drug dealers, aren't you? Flashing your ill-gotten gains. This is a lawful seizure of assets from a criminal enterprise loud enough to shake the glass in my windows." I swear it took a second for my brain to catch up. Did she just call me a drug dealer on my own property because I drive a nice car? My one little indulgence, a black Rolls-Royce Ghost purring behind me, innocent as a kitten. I stare at her blinking gym bag still in my hand. Maybe this is a prank. Maybe I'm on a new episode of Gotcha, but then she's right up in my face barking, "Put your hands on the vehicle," like she expects me to play along with her dime store cop fantasy. Now, I've seen some wild stuff in my line of work, but nothing quite like this. And when she grabs my arm, trying to wrench it behind my back, I make a choice, one that years of training have drilled into me. Don't escalate. Be the calm in the storm. Let crazy be crazy. Sometimes the best report writes itself. So I go limp. Let her slam me face first onto the warm hood of my own car. Her cheap perfume mixes with the sun on metal. I can smell her bad choices and bad attitude all at once. Neighbors start popping out of their perfect homes, drawn by the spectacle me, a bearded black man cuffed on the hood of my own Rolls-Royce while a shrieking blonde in a pretend uniform barks about narcotics. And I can see it on some faces, I knew it looked like they're watching their favorite prejudices get validated live on a Saturday afternoon. She's got one of my wrists cuffed and is fumbling with the other knee, jammed in my back, calling for backup in an impound truck for a black Rolls-Royce evidence in a narcotics investigation. She's shouting into a toy radio clipped to her plastic belt, introducing herself as Officer Sandy Badge 7014, even names her little fantasy. I'm pinned there thinking, this isn't just a meltdown, this is a plan. Sirens roll in real ones this time. 4 officers spill out, all cautious, reading the scene. Officer Sandy goes full method acting, hamming it up about major drug transactions and needing the car impounded. But the sergeant, mustache, drooping eyes, tired, isn't buying it. He clocks her fake patches, her cheap belt, and that she doesn't look like any cop he's ever met. "We don't have an Officer Sandy here," he says, real careful. "And badge 7014. "Who are you, ma'am?" She tries to bluff Special County Task Force, but he's not having it. When he finally turns to me, still face down on the car, asking who I am, I decide to play this out just a little longer. "Name's Jay. I live here. I was putting my car in my garage when this woman assaulted me." Sandy loses it, shrieking, "He's lying. I'm the arresting officer. This is my caller. The sergeant's done. Ma'am, show me your credentials. Now." She freezes, panic, flickering her little world crashing down. I say, "Maybe I can help clear this up, Sergeant." Still cuffed, I tell him, "Check my right front pocket. My wallet's in there." One of the younger officers fishes it out, opens it, and just about falls over. He shows it to the sergeant, whose face goes pale as the truth smacks him. He's looking at my official gold-embossed FBI credentials. Title Director. The apology that follows is so thick you could swim in it. They scramble to uncuff me while the rest close in on Sandy, who's now realizing just how badly she's messed up. "Sandy, whatever your last name is, you're under arrest for impersonating an officer assault and about 6 other things," the sergeant says, voice icy. Watching her get cuffed, the color draining out of her, is, well, I'll be honest, deeply satisfying. The circus should have ended there, but the tow truck Sandy had called comes barreling in. The driver, Kenny, gives my car a long, hungry look, grumbling that he got official orders. The sergeant tells him to beat it. But that part nags at me, the way he showed up so fast, the way Sandy called for an impound before even confirming her arrest. There's a coordination here, a script. Inside, after a long, scalding shower, the whole scheme starts to settle in my mind. Sandy isn't just some random racist lunatic. She's methodical. She had a plan, a partner, a tow truck at the ready, and the crime she tried to commit, impersonating a federal officer assaulting one, just went from a Saturday afternoon sideshow to a federal case. I call my number 2 at the Bureau, Miller, and put the full force of the FBI on the hunt for Sandy and Kenny's 24-hour towing. The deeper we dig, the uglier it gets. Sandy, whose real name is Sandra Lee Plott, has a trail of petty crime, a swamp of conspiracy theories online, months of purchases for fake police gear, and surprise a son who owns a failing towing company. On car enthusiast forums, she's been stalking my rolls for months, posting pictures, working herself into a frenzy about justice and taking back what's rightfully hers. Kenny turns out to be more than just a tow truck driver. His garage is a low-rent chop shop. Surveillance shows high-end cars coming and going, license plates swapped, vehicles vanishing. We find a pattern, cars targeted, tracks stolen with high-tech gear resold out of state or overseas. Sandy's cop routine. Her big play to join the ring and snatch my car in broad daylight using racism as a mask for organized theft. And then the local political machine tries to grind us down. Senator Abernathy, one of those old-school backslapping types, calls my office through his chief of staff. He wants us to show compassion for poor, sick Sandy, just a misunderstanding. Right. He doesn't know or doesn't want to know that his constituent isn't some confused old lady, but a spotter for a multi-state car theft operation. So I lay it out for the senator straight. No chaser, evidence, confessions, surveillance. Senator, your friend Sandy is at the center of a criminal enterprise, and you're not going to block this investigation. The message gets through, the political cover drops like a stone. With the evidence mounting, we squeeze Kenny. He flips hard. He spills everything. Names, dates, how the ring works, how his mother's plan was supposed to net her $100K from my car, her heroic payday. Turns out she wasn't crazy, just greedy, desperate, and very, very dangerous. With Kenny's confession, the dominoes start falling. The thieves, the forger, the ringleader, Silas, they all go down in a coordinated sweep. Even the senator can't protect her now. The trial is a media circus. Her lawyer tries to paint Sandy as a fragile, delusional victim, but the evidence is a tidal wave. Kenny testifies against his own mother, laying bare her obsession, her planning, her deliberate, calculating hate. The jury barely takes 2 hours, guilty on all counts. Sandra Lee gets 10 years in federal prison. The car ring is wiped out. The senator's career is in ruins. But that isn't the end. About a year into her sentence, I get a letter from Sandra Lee. Not asking for forgiveness, not really. Just a confession, handwritten, tracing her own journey through hate, regret, and the emptiness that comes from a lifetime of making yourself small by making others smaller. She admits what she did, why she did it. How seeing me with success, she'd never have just broke her inside. She says she's trying to change. I'm not sure I believe her. But I feel the anger slide off, replaced by something quieter. Closure, maybe. Years go by. My case becomes a training story at the FBI Academy, a lesson in implicit bias and patience, in how a single ugly moment can peel the lid off something much bigger. Sometimes I run my hand over the little scratches on the hood of my car, reminders that even the most careful life can still get dented by someone else's madness. But those scratches are just scars. They fade. The final surprise comes years later when Sandra Lee is dying. Her daughter calls asking if I'll come. I almost say no. But then I remember the ripple effects, the good that came out of that hellish day. I go. She's frail, almost weightless. All that anger burned away by illness. She thanks me for coming. She apologizes, really apologizes for the hate, the hurt, the waste. I sit there in the silence, holding her hand, feeling no hate at all. There's nothing left to fight. And when she goes, when the sun breaks through the clouds as I drive away, I realize justice isn't always about punishment. Sometimes it's about surviving, about letting go, about choosing not to carry hate no matter how much you're handed. I drive my car not as a trophy, not as a shield, but as a man who's still here, still moving forward free. Now, maybe you've never been cuffed on your own driveway or had a Saturday ruined by someone else's demons. Maybe you have. But let me ask you, what would you have done? Would you have lost it? Or would you have let the system work even when it seems hopeless? Share your own story, your thoughts on justice and what it really means to you. Because I think the real victory isn't just in seeing the bad guys get what's coming, it's in refusing to become them. That's the road I'm on. How about you?